Welcome to the Latched On Podcast.
Welcome to the Latched On Podcast. The Latched On Podcast is about the outdoors in Appalachia. Everything from hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, bushcraft, and woodsmanship, and digging into the depths of what makes this area of Appalachia so unique as a whole. It's time to strap in for the Latched On Podcast. Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Latched On Podcast with Zac and Andrew. We're actually doing a re-recording of two episodes that we previously recorded last week. We had some audio difficulties, and me being the OCD and perfectionist freak that I am, I tried to edit it as much as I could on the computer, and it just did not sound at least up to my standards, and Zac kindly agreed to re-record these two episodes, and we're both running on very, very little sleep, but we're going to try and be enthusiastic and talk as much as we can. So
right on, let's go.
So we were talking about fishing and how successful we had with jug fishing, which is a new concept for me. I mean, I've always known of the concept of jug fishing, but this year, mainly because of Zac getting some pool noodles and making some, we actually did it, and the first time I ever did it, and it was really successful for our first time. Well, it was my first time, but I don't know, was it your first time using those jugs? Well, no,
actually, yeah.
We used it on Pound Lake during turkey season, but we didn't have no luck.
Yeah, exactly. It was the bait issue.
Yeah, but we figured out the bait issue, and I don't know what it was. Somewhere, I don't know if I just read it somewhere, heard it somewhere, but I was like, I've never had no luck with chicken livers staying on a hook. I've heard you put pantyhose on them and they'll stay on a hook. Calf liver stays on a hook a little bit better. But, and if you put night crawlers on a circle hook for catfish, everything else is going to eat it, like bluegill and bass and whatnot. But I was like, what about shrimp? And that apparently was the secret. I know everybody says they have their secret. Oh, do this with chicken livers with Kool-Aid, red Kool-Aid, and all that stuff, and you'll catch catfish. Tried it, never worked. But we used that medium shrimp at Walmart, great value brand, $5 a bag. Mm-hmm. And we did 6 sets, 4 jugs per set. I mean, it was the same 4 jugs, but we set them up in 6 different spots, and 4 out of those 6 spots we caught at least 1 catfish.
Yep.
So
usually it didn't take long. It wasn't like we were sitting for hours, and it's during the middle of the day.
Yeah, in the middle of the day.
That's a big thing. A lot of people think you have to be at nighttime to catfish. Yeah, we've been going during the day, and just dropping jugs while we go fish for bass or bluegill or something else, anything else, just to have another form of fishing in the water and the way to get some sustenance. And I just I'll give credit to the Lake Fork guy on YouTube. That's who I come across when I learned how to make my own pool noodles with some extra rigging and stuff I had, and they'll pop, like the pool noodle will raise up if a fish gets on it strong enough to pop it up, which don't take much. And set those out. I put 2 circle hooks on, number 4 circle hooks, a 2.5 ounce weight at the bottom,
like at a drop shot.
Yep, drop shot style. And he used mono, and if I tied a better knot on my hook, mono would probably been fine. But I had one big one at pound pop my line off. So I switched everything over to 65-pound braid, and I've had a good chance since then.
What was the knots he usually used for them hooks?
He used, I can't remember what fancy knot it is. It's some kind of knot for fishing, like to tie like a drop stop style. I ended up just doing a double overhand knot.
Okay.
So, which it's not the best because it will pull and tighten if there's enough force on it. So I've only seen it with the big fish, and when you tighten those knots after like that heats them up, and that's what pops that mono. So the braid, I've had one braid tighten up, but it didn't break. So
that's good.
That's what I liked about it.
I was about to say the knots I usually use for almost anything, and it's like my go-to knot. I know it's not like ideal knot for a lot of situations, but it's the Plisano knot. But just because it's so simple, and I think it's like says it's like the strongest knot. Now, still mono, it could still probably break with mono because it heats up so quick with friction or whatnot.
Yeah,
but
he puts it on there. He even showed you how to do it. But like, it takes me a while to to document like a knot in my head. I have to
I'm same way.
review it, and
I'm
I have to do
same
it. I have to like tie it while I'm watching the video multiple times. Once I do that, I'm fine.
The only way I can do a Plisano knot is because it's literally just so simple that I can just watch it once and it's done. But every other knot, I'm the same way. I have to watch it multiple times before I can figure
most
it
of
out.
mine I have like in my head good, but that one was just like I said, I hadn't practiced it, so I was like, well, I'll just do this overhand. So I just literally take a bite out of the line and do an overhand knot.
And this comes from an Eagle Scout. Like I had to do my knot tying merit badge. I don't know how I passed my knot tying merit badge, but apparently I figured out those knots enough to pass.
Yeah,
but I don't.
I can do a lot of
none
different
them.
ones, but like I've never been a big fisherman until this year. So
Yeah.
this year, like I had to do learn some more.
I think the first time I had to tie my own fly rod this year because I bought a new fly rod, and I had to do those knots of where you tie the leader onto the back.
Did you use a nail knot?
Yeah.
Do you actually use a nail to tie it?
No,
It makes it easier.
Oh,
That's
well,
why they call that. I keep a nail in my little
Yeah.
my fanny pack that I use for fly fishing to do that. But I actually found another knot that's easier to tie than that one. I'll have to show it to you. It's actually like super, super
Yeah,
simple.
we'll have to just do a little knot tying, little workshop
Yeah.
to get me up to speed on some knots.
Yeah, the nail knot's aggravating if it pops loose. But this other one I seen, it was like one of those just Instagram reels.
Yeah.
It's just some random dude showing you
I've
how to
been
tie a knot.
watching a lot of those.
I just come across it, and it was to tie two lines together, and it makes a lot of sense, and I was like, that is really simple. And this one was like easy. I watched it like twice, and I was like, I got that in my head, and like I didn't have to practice it. It's really simple.
Oh, that's awesome. Speaking of fanny packs, I always made fun of dads back in the 90s and early 2000s for carrying fanny packs around, and I actually broke down and bought a fanny pack just a couple days ago. Everly Stocks fanny pack. They were having a Father's Day sale on one.
Oh, did they?
I think so. Yeah, it was like normal price is like $55. I think I got 20% off of it.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a Father's Day thing or it was like a special email.
That's literally. I have that in my Amazon card. I've been wanting to buy it.
Yeah, I bought it directly off the website, so I don't know if it's
okay.
cheaper on the website or on the Amazon.
Well,
I bought the.
It's still $50 on Amazon. That's why I haven't bought it yet.
I bought like the Ranger green one or whatever it is, and I figured that'd be a good everyday carry.
That's
thing.
I literally have it in my car. That's the one I want for carrying my.
I'm about to say, check on Everly Stock website. You might get that 20% off or whatever it is when we get off here. But but back to the jug fishing. First time I ever did it, and you went with your kids like a week later.
To that lake.
You caught some catfish, but I don't think they were big enough to really worth keeping. Or did you keep some?
No, we kept 2. We caught 3 and we kept 2.
Okay.
I was dealing with a thief though. Somebody literally stole one of my jugs.
Like right in front of you.
Yeah, in front of me.
That's
If I didn't have my kids, it'd have been a different story. But I'm not going to be confrontational.
I think I was
with my
just in
kids
utter
like that.
disbelief when you actually told me that because I'm like, it's literally a pool noodle with bank line on it.
I think he stole my fish. I think it was bobbing.
Okay.
And he was stealing a fish, and then he just decided to keep the noodle too. So I don't think the noodle was what was so attractive to him. I think it was the fact
It was
that
the fact that you caught a fat catfish.
Yeah, I think it's because he was an old timer. He's an older fella, and I say that he was probably in his late 40s, early 50s, somewhere in there. And I hope I run into him again when I don't have my kids with me. But I seen him check it, and I'm sure he knows what jugs are. He's on that lake a lot, I'm sure, and he probably seen it bobbing like I was talking about, and he checked it and probably kept the catfish and was like, well, hell, I already got the jug and all the rigging in the boat. I might as well just keep it.
That's just crazy.
So and in Virginia too, like you have to put your name, your phone number, and then either your address or your CID, which is just your license number. So I put my CID number so nobody just don't find my address. If one of them does it, because weather takes sometimes. Like I went in a storm one time and it took one of my jugs way off. Like I had to go get it. So there is a chance like you lose them, right? Like, but this was a clear, calm day, sunny, and I watched him do it.
And like the perfect thing about this, sort of off subject, the best thing about the CID thing is the CID thing is more for the game warden, so that they can look up your number. Now, the phone number is for somebody that say like it gets caught up in a cove and it's lost, and they can just call that phone number.
Yeah, I don't even think our phone numbers are on the game division website, are they? Do you have to put your phone number in? Because it might be for the game warden just quickly to call you and be like, "Hey, where you at? You're supposed to be outside of these."
Yeah, you are maybe right. Let me check right quick.
Yeah,
and
which I like. I like having my name on. I'm prior military, so I put my name on everything anyway. Because if you're gonna steal from me, you're gonna know whose it is. So he know who he stole from, and then I put my name and phone number on my trail cameras, and somebody stole one of them.
Now, my license card, there's obviously no number, but I'd say as soon as the game warden. But like I know that when you register on DWR's website to certify information and stuff like that, I've had to
put your number in.
My number is on
okay.
there.
Yeah, they can probably get it.
So I'd guarantee you that as soon as they put that CID number in, they have your address, they have your number, and all that. So that's kind of like what that is. So that's a good way for the game warden to get a hold of you.
But yeah, I put my name and phone number on everything, and then that way, if you do steal it, then you know who you stole from, at least. I mean, at minimum. So that dude that stole my trail camera, I hope he tripped down the mountain because he stole my trail camera.
Yeah, that was a story that actually came up. Well, you told me that story yesterday or the day before yesterday.
That was recent, yeah.
And that's crazy too, because you put that trail camera in a spot of where I'm not saying somebody wouldn't be as crazy as you to go back to where you were to put that trail camera up there, but the fact that I'm trying to be Mr. Optimist here and say it was either a bear that took it off and just drug it somewhere, or maybe Sasquatch did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just that kind of guy. I don't like to.
You don't want to think the bad of somebody. Well, usually if there's a bear, there's remnants of it.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm
there's
saying.
no remnants of it.
Well, I mean,
it's one of my few I didn't hang high.
It's kind of like that thing about me and you both have similar jobs of where we see the worst in people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, like, when I'm not at work, I like to see the best in people. But at the same time, let's be real about it. It's more likely than not it got stolen, which that's crazy that someone was willing to climb up on that specific ridge, which I'm sure that if someone did do it, they were just walking around doing, like,
it's a long walk. It's not a difficult walk.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So
but if somebody did do it, I mean, and I'm not, and 80% chance that someone did steal it.
Yeah, probably. Which I haven't pushed back any further. So if there's the slight chance a bear did it, and I'll probably come across it, because every time I've ever had a bear mess with a trail camera or hurt anybody else, it's within 20 feet of the tree.
Yeah.
It's because they tear it down, they chew on it.
They tear down, they get the sin off of it, and then they're like, this ain't food, and then they just don't care about it.
Yeah, they'll chew on it, get a battery out of it or something, and then that's it. And it's always in the area. I've had plenty mess with mine. I've had one get yanked off the tree by a bear, but it was laying at the tree. Yeah. Everybody else I know, it's like near the tree, and I searched all around, it wasn't there. I got to push in deeper, but...
Of course, also the best part about re-recording this episode is when we previously recorded this episode, you were literally getting ready to leave for Cherokee Lake to go fishing.
That's true.
And then you're back.
Yep.
And you didn't have like a super awesome fishing day, but you caught an amazing catfish on your jug.
Yes.
And it was a big old blue catfish.
Oh, yeah. Caught like it was 9 pounds, 8 ounces, I think is what it was. Don't quote me on that. I know it was over 9 pounds. I think it was 6 or 8 ounces.
I mean, it was at least, a 2.5 to 3 foot long fish, wasn't it?
We measured it. It was 28 or 29 inches.
I about to say it was up
so
there.
It wasn't really much longer than the one we caught.
But I guess where it's a blue catfish, it just looks so fat.
It was huge. Just how it was heavy.
Like a blue catfish is. I've always considered a blue catfish is like the most attractive. If you want to know what I'm saying,
pretty.
It's a pretty catfish compared to a channel and a flathead. Yeah. Not down in a channel or a flathead at all. Yeah. But a blue looks more like a predator fish instead of a bottom. Like if you were gonna if you looked at a channel catfish and you looked at a blue catfish, you look at a channel catfish and say that's a bottom feeder. You look at a blue catfish and you're like that's a predator because it has the predator build to it.
Yes, yeah. They're meaty too, man. That fillet is the biggest fillet I've ever seen.
Have you ate it yet?
Oh yeah, we already ate it.
Was it?
Oh, it was delicious.
Better than channel or about the same?
I couldn't really tell a difference.
Good.
Honestly,
well, that's good. That means
which we used some spicy freaking
that Cajun batter.
Yeah, I'm not buying any more of that. It lit me up. It lit me up. That stuff was hot. We actually mixed it, so we did. My buddy brought in crappie to work, and we fried all the crappie and the spicy, which made me mad because I like crappie better than catfish. Mm-hmm. And it was so hot, I was crying when I was eating it. And then for the catfish, we had already used some of that spicy, so we mixed in regular. So it was like a mild spicy.
So future reference, if you want the heat not the spice, mix it.
If you get the Jugging Baits fish fry, if you get the spicy one, I recommend 50-50 with a regular fish fry.
Yeah.
Tone that thing down because
I've always gone to the Royal King and just buy their regular fish fry. Uh-huh. I mean, probably because it's just cheaper. I didn't know Jugging made any.
Like that, the cheap stuff at Walmart's good too. It's just small. I've not seen it in bulk at Walmart. Exactly. They have like small packets of fish fry. It's really good. I've got the Uncle Ben's from Bass Pro, and it was super cheap.
That stuff's good,
and it's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good too. So, But yeah, if you do get that spicy Cajun from Guggen, it's like a baked brand if you don't know.
And if you don't have a high spice tolerance.
Yeah, I mean, and I like the taste of spice. I'm not like I don't eat like pepper, like ghost peppers, stupid crap like that. Like I don't do all that stuff. But I eat jalapenos in most of my sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I'm a pretty average. Average to spice eater.
Yeah, if I see jalapeno poppers or anything like that, I'll eat the shit out of them.
Yeah,
but it's not like I'm eating.
Carolina. That thing eat us up. And the guy that I was with, the guy I work with, he is a spicy guy. He likes hot stuff, and he was sweating. Like he eat every bite of it. He didn't hold back, but he was sweating too. So it was heat. So tone it down if you try it. It was good. Flavor's good, but yeah, tone it down.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, though. So you got a channel also. You caught a blue and a channel. Did you catch any other fish?
No, it was like a really stormy day. One of the neighbors up there.
I know it was rainy back home, so
yeah, it stormed on us. We got the worst of it while we was on the water, and we got off the water trying to avoid the storm, and then it ended up rolling out. But it wasn't the best conditions, and at the time, Cherokee's right. At the time of this recording and before this, there's been a lot of rain. We've had unusual. We didn't have as much rain in the spring, and we've had an unusual like early summer rain here.
I'm about to say, yeah, April was pretty dry in comparison to how it usually is.
Yeah, it was dry and sunny.
And then mid-May to now, it's just like been rain.
Yeah, it's more.
Especially
it's like
last week when you all went.
Yeah, it's like it was in April. Like it's kind of flip flop.
And it was cool. It's been cool the last couple of days too. You know how cold it was this morning when I woke up?
It was like
51 degrees.
Yeah, it was 50 last night when I was right around at work.
Yeah, it was 50. Yeah, it's 51 degrees when I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, it's June. It's supposed to be 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Or at least 68.
Yeah, I mean, it's warmed up. It's warmed up to 68 right now. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Still,
but nights it's supposed to be in the 60s at least in June.
50s on the nights. That's like September weather.
That's a chilly night.
That's May and September weather.
Yeah,
right
we
there,
even got through the hottest months yet. But
yeah.
But yeah, anywho, the lake's really high right now. If anybody wants to go fish there, it's really high.
Yeah, I went to Big Cherry the other day, and it was really high too. The overflow, like in my last YouTube video, like how it's below the speed, the dam, it's died off. It's not overflowing as far now, so the river water level is a lot lower than what you saw in that video, but the lake is still really high. Yeah. And there's a lot of people fishing it yesterday, and I was trying a few new Guggen soft plastics that I just bought. I bought that 2-inch bump and bug or whatever it is, like little crawdad. I had good luck with it at the ponds behind the college. Caught a little crappie off of that.
Yeah,
which I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Well, I've caught crappie there before off of spoons,
I didn't even know that.
But I'm talking like the last crappie I caught was like maybe a 6-inch crappie.
Yeah,
this crappie though is at least 8 or 9 inches, and I'm like, honestly, if I wasn't there with my kids and I didn't have enough, and I had more time to try and catch more, probably would have taken home a bunch of crappie.
Yeah,
but that was the first time my daughter actually has shown an interest in fishing.
Well, crappie fight like crazy, man.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had it until I saw the flash.
Yeah, that's what I always see is the flash.
I cast it to the little dam at the lower pond, and I'm just reeling in that bump and bug just a little bit at a time, giving it a little jerk here and there. And next thing I know, I'm like, that was weird. I probably hit a rock, and then I saw that flash. I'm like, nope, I got a fish.
Yeah.
And then she's like right behind me. I'm on that concrete wall on the other side of the fence, so I'm like literally teetering on the edge, and she's like, "Daddy, you got a fish? Daddy, you got a fish?"
Yeah.
And then ever since then, she'll see my fishing rods, and she's like, "Let's go fishing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, so my 4-year-old daughter is now like obsessed with going fishing.
There you go.
So
do it. We didn't take mealworms, and
I got to bring her rod that I bought for her 2 years ago out of the attic.
Princess.
Yeah. It was a pink Realtree fishing rod.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I got it for her 2 years ago, and I was like, when she wants to fish with it, she'll get it. And her answer to it 2 years ago was, I want to hit shit with it.
Yeah. So how I got my youngest son, he's almost 4. How I got him into it, I actually just gave him a hand-me-down pole because I have a Spider-Man and a Paw Patrol pole. So I just gave him a hand-me-down one.
I remember the Spider-Man pole.
Yeah, he still got it too because he loves Paw Patrol and Spider-Man. He loves them both, so he's got 2 poles technically because his older brothers they're way too big for him.
I remember the first time me and Zach went fishing. Like the first time actually me and you saw each other since like high school. We went kayaking down the pound.
Yeah.
And here's Zach coming down this big old...
Oh, no, that one lost.
I had a different Spider-Man pole.
Yeah, because remember I lost it because I got turned over.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my kid's pole. So fishing on a river, I took a kid's pole because it's easier to cast because it's a tight-knit river. It's not like a big river.
Yeah, he told me the logic behind it. I was like, here's this Perception kayak. And this guy's got a Spider-Man fish pole. And he told me why. And I was like, Makes a lot of damn sense.
Yeah, because I mean, in those rivers too, you're not catching freaking big catfish. You're not catching giant bass.
Not like you used to.
Yeah, you're not catching. And those Spider-Man poles, or the kids' poles, they come with like 6 or 8 pound test on them anyway.
Yeah, and that's like the same thing as like with the ugly stick dock demon or whatever it is in terms of size.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So I mean, why
Well, yeah,
not?
it depends, and or if you already have it, like that was me because I wanted a smaller pole because I had at the time I only had a fly rod and like a big bass rod because I hadn't been into fishing. My fly rod, I did bring the fly rod and I ended up taking it apart and putting it in the kayak because it was, I mean, it's a 9-foot rod.
Yeah, and it just
I kept getting hung up.
that's the thing. Those rivers are so small. Like you're hitting the tree branches in the middle of the river.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're having a duck get under a tree. So I just brought that Spider-Man pole, which I should have tied it in or something because I lost it and I had to buy my kid another one, but. That's fine. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I bought those little trainer. They have them in the kids section at Walmart. It's like it was like a 3-pack of plastic fishes that you tie on the rod. And most of those kids pole come with one, but if you like, I had to buy one because I couldn't find them. And it says like bass, crappie, or bluegill or something on them. And I tied it on there and I showed him how to do the button in the living room. Right, so there's no hooks on this, just a piece of plastic that looks like a fish. So I showed him how to cast it in the living room, and he done it a couple times pretty poorly. Well, then I just left it in the living room and left it in there like a toy. So then he would just come through every once in a while he was playing. He'd pick it up and he'd start casting it like he was supposed to for like 10 minutes. Then he'd set it down and be bored with it. And if he tangled it, I'd fix it and let him do it. And then after like 2 weeks of it just sitting on the couch in the living room, he knew how to cast. So I taught my 3-year-old how to cast, but like turning it into more of a game than anything.
Yeah.
And then now we get on the boat and I just crimp his barb down. So, I mean, he will hook me every once in a while. So I just crimp his barb down and, most of the time, now he don't catch as many fish because he don't let it sit in the water long enough.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I don't have to cast for him. He's just sitting there casting. Like, Dad, look how far that cast was. He enjoys casting it just as much as he does catching fish.
That's awesome.
So he does that on his own. And then my middle son, I took him that day to the lake that dude stole my jug or whatever. Well, we caught 3 catfish. I think we caught 3 catfish. One of them was little, so I threw it back in. My oldest son caught a bunch of bluegill. My middle son didn't catch anything, and my middle son was obsessed with fishing after that, like your daughter is. And his birthday was like right after that, and he started changing on his mind, and he asked for a bunch of fishing stuff for his birthday.
Hell yeah.
So right after we went on that trip, so now he's got, which I had bought him because he enjoyed it so much. I bought him an old Zebco 33, which I absolutely love those, the little micro Zebcos or whatever. Bought him one of those, and then like an itty bitty tackle box right before we went. And I'm talking like it fits in your front pocket. He carried it around the whole trip, and he kept wanting to use stuff out of his tackle box, even though but his older brother was catching them on mealworms. And then we got back, and for his birthday, he got like a bigger tackle box. Somebody bought him another Zebco 33 in blue. So then he's got 2 Zebcos.
It's just
like he's set up.
the addiction has started.
Yeah, and then he went and he spent like an hour organizing his big tackle box after
One
he got
fishing rod is never enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's fun getting them into stuff like that. And
How
if
excited were they when you catching fish off them jugs?
Oh, they thought it was the coolest thing ever. Dean, my middle son, the one that got into it, he's like, Dad, can I hold it? I was like, oh, God. Because Catfish got the spikes on him, so I was nervous about letting him hold it.
Yeah.
But I showed him how, man. And my middle son, he gets right in it. He gets elbow deep in it. He don't care. So
That's awesome.
He, but yeah, I got a picture of him with that. And then my older son, he caught 2 or 3 bluegill on his own, and he cast pretty well too. I'm probably gonna start letting him use a closed face though, because he had an open face and he done it well for a while, but like he don't know how to unfix it or like.
Well, them open face rods, I mean, they get tangled up.
When it gets, so he does good with it, but when it does get tangled, he makes it worse.
And I've been fishing for 20 years, and I mean, I still do it because I mean, it happens with those open face rods. It happens with the closed face rods too, but it's a lot easier not to mess up a closed face.
Exactly,
rod.
yeah. And like I said, you can't beat a good old Zebco. Hell, my wife's got a pink Zebco. I need to just get one for myself, honestly, but. Yeah, my other one's got 2.
I actually went to my parents' house, which used to be my grandparents' house, and I was looking in the garage, and I saw so many old Zebco rods, and I'm like, I probably need to go through these and see.
Yeah.
And then probably either bring some home or not. But then if I bring them home, my wife's going to kill me because I already have too many fishing rods anyway, and then I'm going to bring all these like 20-some rods.
Yeah, I've gained a lot of fishing rods this year alone just since I got into fishing because I had a fly rod. And I had like just a open face Walmart bass reel. Yeah. Just a plain Jane. Yeah. And I bought my wife a pink Zebco.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what else I had.
I bought 3 reels. I got 3 reels in the mail yesterday.
I had. That's awesome. I did have a little ugly stick.
Yeah.
And then now I have 2 ultralights, open face, ugly stick, 2 bait casters. My wife has a bait caster. My wife has another open face.
You just started.
Yeah. And I know what I'm saying.
The addiction.
Well, it was crazy too because so I will say this is completely off topic. We just got rambling now about fishing stuff, which is fun. But it's Pro Fishy is the brand. Okay. It's the girly stuff. It looks like so the print looks like Paula Deen. If anybody knows what I'm talking about. Well, my wife loves Paula Deen stuff. Well, she likes the decoration stuff.
Yeah, the aesthetic of the Paula Deen stuff.
Yes, if the pots and pans actually kind of suck. So get yourself something. Is it Paula Deen? No, Pioneer Woman.
Pioneer Woman.
Yeah, Paula Deen's pots and pans are good. Sorry, Miss Dean.
We apologize, Miss Dean.
Yeah, Pioneer Woman's pots and pans suck. She loves the Pioneer Woman patterns, design, like the flowery stuff. Well, the Pro Fishy stuff looks identical. Well, they make purple ones, and now I think they're trying to make like bluish ones for kind of guys too. But so I was like, man, this stuff is marketed just towards women and kids, and they are just overcharging for these rods and reels. Well, my wife actually knows how to cast a bait caster for the most part. Better than most people I know.
Better than me.
Yeah, better than most people I know. And so for her anniversary, I bought her that Pro Fishy bait caster, and then I got 2 different Lures combos, and I didn't spend a whole lot of money, and hers was like almost double of my best lure. It was almost double the cost. That thing is smooth.
Really?
It is buttery smooth. It's better than both my rods.
When we're done with these podcasts, I actually got one of my new reels out in my car.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah.
I put it on my white and blue bass rod. It's a white and blue reel. I was like, maybe me being weird, I want to make it match and all that stuff. It's a 3,000 size reel, open face. Dude.
Okay.
It is so smooth.
Pro Fishy makes closed faced and they make open face too. Yeah. My wife literally has all 3. And
Lord have mercy.
But if they make like a more dudeish color, not that I care what you carry, I don't want a flowery fishing rod myself.
It's fair.
If they make another one, it's like more of a men's color. Like I'm gonna get one. That bait caster it's crazy. It's nicer than my Lubes combo.
That's awesome. That's cool.
that I bought from Bass, which they sell those at Bass Pro. They sell them at Walmart, and Academy has them and stuff too. Yeah, that Pro Fishy brand is freaking. Awesome. They're actually really nice.
Well, all right. Well, guys, we talked about jugs. We talked about jug fishing and the success we had with that. We got a little off topic, but just talking about...
Well, it's fishing season, so...
Yeah, it's just fishing season in general. So that's what this podcast is really about. It's about dealing with fishing with jugs, which is a new concept for us, fishing in general, and how excited... I hardly fished at all last year, and then you really have gotten into the non-trout fishing this year.
I got a boat, so...
Yeah, you got a boat, and that force multiplier on everything, and... I've fished more this summer, and it's not even summer yet. I've fished more since the end of turkey season than I fished all last year.
Well, same here. I didn't get out once last year.
I didn't either. We were so focused on shooting bows and scouting.
Which now I got to shoot my bow more.
Yeah, I shot my bow for the first time last night, and I'm still good. So I don't have to do much.
I can't balance it all. I'm either all in on one thing. Speaking of which, I'm in a bow competition right now, and I got to shoot.
You got to do something about that.
Yeah, I got to get a shoot in.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. It's June. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and make sure to keep awareness about that, and we'll talk more about that on the next episode.